Hello, hello, and welcome to Transform Your Relationships Live. I'm Laura Rubinstein with the awesome and amazing Dr. Rhoberta Shaler. Hi, Rhoberta.
Hi, Laura. I have to laugh because every time we have a moment and we think we're just going to do it, technology intervenes and we get those little gremlins, and that happened today. So, you got to laugh at technology, don't you?
Yeah, and it's perfect for the topic today
It is.
because it was a little chaotic, and we have to just practice being in the center, centered within ourselves. And that's kind of the topic is how do you do that? How do we get back to center in the middle of chaos? Whether you're dealing with like the people you support, the people who deal with hijackals, or you're just dealing with traffic, or you're dealing with technology.
Yeah, or you're dealing with your own inner self, that's at war. Sometimes we can do a really good job on ourselves and take ourselves out and down. So we need a few techniques, I think, for getting calm and centered and bringing ourselves back to woo here.
Yeah, and I came up with this topic. I suggested it because I went to a heart math presentation, and many people have heard of heart math. It's one word. Yes, it has the word math in it, math. And, you don't think about those two words together, but it's a process of documenting scientifically what happens with your heart and your heart rate variability and how it impacts our lives emotionally. So, one of the biggest tools that I feel like I need to use right now is breathing deeper and slower.
Yes. Yes, that's sort of the secret weapon for every single one of us because it's immediately available. I'm always telling clients, okay, in the face of other people's rage, breathe. In the face of your own rising irritation, breathe. In the face of not being able to go to sleep at night, breathe. It is the first go-to thing. So what did you learn at this heart math thing?
Well, we learned a couple of techniques. One of the things I realized was the slower I can breathe, not like getting it super slow, but if I can slow down my pace of my breath, the faster I get calm. And that one thing that really helped was putting my hand on my heart.
Mm.
And so why don't we all just do that? Like take a moment to just put our hand on our heart. And it kind of like reminds us slower, deeper breath. And if we do it 5 times, if you can do it with your eyes closed, that could even help you get it even faster. So you're going slower to get faster relief. Does that make sense? So we almost titled this How to Quickly Get Back to Center in the Midst of Chaos. And I took it out because it's going to take what it's going to take. But I do feel that this helps me get there more clearly, more quickly. It's not
Mm.
about being fast, but it's really about getting to this place of center. So I already feel, and it doesn't matter if you keep your mouth open or closed in the heart math technique. It's just focusing on that breath. And, I've had the experience like you were suggesting, like when you're trying to get to sleep at night, I used to have terrible problem getting to sleep as a kid. Um, I just would have all these
Mm.
um, thoughts going through my head. And I trained myself through some hypnosis techniques of, guided relaxation and focusing on my body. But today, what I use, if I have a time when I'm thinking, I use the focusing on my breath, slowing it down because I get bored and then I go to sleep, right? At least that's my
I
rationale about it.
I bored myself to sleep.
Seriously, but that's like as a hypnotherapist, that's what we try to do with people is to knock them out by knock their conscious bored, like just like so they can relax. When you get bored, you get sleepy, you get tired, you just want to fall asleep. You want to get into that relaxed state. So boredom is good for this,
We're going to sleep.
for going to sleep, for getting back to center. Um, the third thing to do is to bring to mind a positive emotion event, something that makes you feel
Mm.
connected and safe and comfortable. And it
So
could be,
switches your mind.
yeah, and it could be remembering an event touching yourself. It depends on if you're kinesthetic or you're auditory. It could be something that someone said to you. It could be a visual. Like I just went on a trip and had these amazing visuals that just were like so state changing that I now have a visual to use that, and you can look at a picture and get that too. So if
Yeah,
there's,
and I like what you said because I'm very auditory. And so if I imagine listening to the waves at the beach, then I can slow down
hmm
from that, just taking myself there. I like looking at the beach, but what I really like is the sound of the beach because those waves are almost like breath. Right?
and you can use, it makes me think of the Ujjayi breathing that you can do with yoga, where you actually kind of hear like waves of your breath. It's like that Darth Vader. If you do that Ujjayi breathing, which is basically that, but with your mouth closed, you're hearing it internally, you're calming yourself. It also probably mimics the sound of your mother's breath in the womb type of thing, or that feeling of being in a safe womb-like space. So it can be very healing to
I'm
do
going to
that.
yawn any second.
Yeah, you're getting very sleepy, and it's a good thing. And it's a good thing because we're nurturing you. We're helping you to nurture yourself, really.
Yeah,
And
I think these are all really good tactics and strategies. Tactic meaning something you do right in the moment to change something, and a strategy meaning something you incorporate into your life that you do frequently because it works for you. And when you recognize the power of your breath, as a yoga teacher, just as you did for in your hypnosis and yoga, as you mentioned it, and I was trained as a Shivananda yoga teacher. I started yoga when I was 19 before anybody had ever heard of it in Canada. And it is so basic. It is the most basic thing. I mean, what's the first thing you did when you got here? Everybody was so excited you took a breath, right? And so let's all remember the basics, getting to that place where you just say, oh yeah, I can go back to breathing. And that allows us to also remember that we deserve to take up space and draw breath. Like, oh, yeah, I am here. I really deserve to take a breath. I have a rightful place. And when you do that, you can calm yourself immediately. When I'm talking and helping people become more assertive, one of the things that we look at are the 7 rights that we have. And I did a live stream on it just a couple of weeks ago on my YouTube channel for relationship help. And one of the basic things is understanding that, yes, I have that basic right to be here, to exist. And when you tap back into that, because there's a lot of messages that come at us that say, you know, are you really worth it? Do you deserve to do that? Who do you think you are? Maybe we've got old tapes that play in our head. I certainly had a mother who would say, "Who do you think you are, young lady?" And, when you're just stressful, these things like pop up even more frequently than they pop up at any other time. And those are great moments to remember, hey, I deserve to be here. I deserve to take up space and draw breath. Let me show you. Right? And then you show yourself. And always remember, too, I think this is physiologically important to remember, that when you take a deep breath, you are reoxygenating all your cells. And if you hold that deep breath for 20 seconds, which is a long time for many people, that's how long it takes for that oxygen to go all the way around your bloodstream and pick up all the carbon dioxide. So then if you open your mouth, and let it all out until it's absolutely gone, then you're really doing yourself a favor. So let's go back to the heart math. We've got our hand on our heart. We're taking a deep breath. We're visualizing something, as you said, something that makes us calm and makes us feel good and is a happy, joyful, or pleasant memory. And how long do we do this?
4 or 5 breaths to start with, or until if you have the luxury of more time, until you feel more centered. like I said, the reason I took the word quick out of here, it's going to take what it's going to take. And here's the thing, the more we practice it, the more we either stay in it or we come back to it quicker. So it's a really good practice to just take those conscious breaths. And I love this, love the idea of implementing this um, little movement, especially if you're kinesthetic, because then you can feel
Mm-hmm.
yourself calming yourself. But even if you're not, it's kind of an anchor, it's a pattern interrupt from where you are. And, you mentioned stop breathing, but, you know, I didn't realize this until I started somebody mentioned it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was speaking from stage. I think I was just introducing myself. It was like one of those round robins where everybody got a few seconds, and somebody stopped me and coached me, and she said, Laura, breathe. You're not breathing. I'm like, I'm not? She said, no, you're not breathing. It's like it was painful for her to watch me, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll breathe now. I can breathe.
Yeah. Breathing
So
is good.
breathing is good. It's good also in a breathing practice. I know we've talked about is it 555 or 444 or 888? What's your magic?
478.
478.
Yeah.
Different people have different numbers, but I know you have a 478. Why don't you go through that?
Sure. I use this technique for all of my people. It's a yogic technique again, but it to center yourself, to bring yourself into the present moment and relax yourself. If you breathe in deeply, really deeply through your nose for a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 7, and then you let it out your mouth fully until your lungs are completely empty for a count of 8. And if you do that 3 or 4 times, you will notice a big difference for the reason I mentioned earlier. You are reoxygenating all your blood cells, so you're going to wake up your blood. You're going to get rid of the carbon dioxide that is weighing you down, and you are going to come to peace by using the breathing technique. So if you're having a moment in a day when you find yourself really stressful and you do this, you will come back to center. If you do it when you want to fall asleep, you will be refreshed but calm and go and have an easier time of falling asleep.
I wanted to mention that when you talked about when you breathe, you're getting to this calm place, but when you're kind of in the midst of chaos, your limbic system is firing like fight or flight, fight or flight. It doesn't have all the capacity to reason and to talk you down off the ledge. It's kind of
Oh,
just in that freak out stage. So this whole practice, breathing, the 478, is it 478, 578?
478.
478, um, gets you back into the amygdala, where is it, the amygdala? It's the frontal lobe, where we have the higher thought, where you can think
Right.
more clearly. So if you want
Yeah.
to think better, breathe more.
Well, then that's true because what happens when we get into fight or flight is that the body automatically says, "Oh, danger, danger," and it brings the blood down to take care of the heart and lungs to keep you alive. And that means it's got to get that blood from somewhere. And yes, your arms and legs and hands and feet are great, but it also comes from your head. And if you get really, really angry, I always say to the people that I talk about when they're raging. So remember, when somebody's raging, they've lost the blood in their head that is in the prefrontal lobes. And that means that when you're angry, as Ashley Brilliant said, you will make the best speech you'll ever regret
Mm, you will.
because you're somewhat brain dead, right? And then don't you hate the moment when someone says, "And you said this when you were yelling at me," and you go, "Oh, really? Did I?" Like that's a really brain dead thing to say. Now I've got to crawl back from that horrible place that I went. And if I had, in fact, said, "Whoa, I'm getting a little hot here," or "I'm getting a little afraid," or whatever's going on that could cause you to go into fight or flight, or faint or freeze, um, paralyzing is not great either. And say, "No, I can take charge of my body." And that's what we're talking about today, how to take charge of the body so it will support your mind and your emotions. And
Absolutely.
and that's available to you. And guess what? It's free.
It's free. It costs a breath or three or four or five really conscious breaths to recenter yourself. So
Yes.
If
And
you're doing anything and you're getting bored during this, that's good.
well,
By
I
breathing, that's good.
I don't know too. I mean, if I'm reading and I find that I'm getting tired, I will also do this. Now, it may sound counterintuitive that we're saying, get it, use it to calm down, but also use it to clear your head. Like if I'm getting tired and I don't want it, but you have to do it. Take the breaths and re energize yourself. Get the blood filled with oxygen and find out how you really are, as opposed to maybe you're all slouched over your computer or you're reading a book all scrunched up and your lungs are not able to really work to capacity. And maybe something as simple as using the breathing that Laura's talking about and saying, oh, I know what I can do. Because I honestly believe that a deep breath, a good conscious deep breath, is the most luxurious, least expensive vacation in the world.
I agree. In fact, I have a freebie, a free 15-minute vacation that anyone can get right now at reenergizenow.com. It's a
Oh,
15-minute guided relaxation. The first part of it is taking those conscious breaths in. So if you need it guided, go to reenergizenow.com. And by the way, I pulled a feminine power card. As you know, I created these fun cards that I love. And for today's topic about how to get back to center in the midst of chaos, I had an idea too. It's like, okay, so if you're with somebody and you're going into that limbic fight or flight mode and you want to get back to center, you can put your hand here and say, I have to catch a calm.
I love
I have to catch
it.
a calm. I have to breathe. I have to catch my breath, is really what you're saying. But I have to catch a calm. One moment, please. You know.
Love that. Love that.
So the card I pulled is this card, and it says "Be centered within yourself." Well, great advice. So how do we do it? The backside is a practice, and it has both an exercise and something to contemplate. And the contemplation is to ask yourself, what's important to me? What's
Right
important to me?
now.
Right now is a good addition to that. Yeah. And then here's an idea of something you can practice to be more centered. You're not going to expect this, but it says decline a request you know you don't want to accept.
Woohoo, Jomo.
Jomo, get into the joy of missing out, decline a request. So what's important to me? Ask yourself, journal about that, meditate it right now, and decline a request. Try this as an exercise. Decline a request you don't want to accept. That would be today's practice if you want to get centered for centering and breathing, obviously.
Great things from Laura today. The Feminine Power Cards are great, femininepowercards.com. And now re-energize now. Is that what you said?
Re-energize now. I've had reenergizenow.com forever, ever, ever, ever. I forget to tell people about it. It's just a quick opt-in form. We'll send you a link to download that audio MP4, and you can have a mini vacation right now.
I love it. And I love the simplicity of the domain too. And I
Yeah.
just want to say if you want to hear more about those that 478 breathing and everything, it's in my book Kaizen for Couples. And don't be put off by the couples part. If you're a couple, great. But if you want to be a couple or you want to have a better relationship with a sibling or your parent or your coworker, things in here will really help you. And when we're talking about breathing, we make a joke about it being so fundamental and it's the first thing that you did in life, but this is really serious stuff. It is what keeps you alive. And if for any minute you start reducing your breathing, you are going to have anxiety. You're
Mm.
going to have a problem. You're going to go into a stress response. And it's so basic in self care to take care of your breathing. We were talking about yoga, so ujjayi breathing, very important. Alternate nostril breathing, that will calm you down. When you breathe in through one nostril for 4, and then you close your nose and hold it for 4, then you breathe through the other one and exhale, and then you inhale through that one and close, and open the other one. This balances the hemispheres of your brain.
Wow.
Wow, through breath,
Mm.
right? So these are not only fundamental to living, but they're immediately available to you. They are tools that you can take charge of your inner state. And, as a hypnotherapist, you offer lots of things like that. And I think everyone does well to say, wow, I have power tools that I can use. And breathing techniques are certainly one of those things.
Do them 3 times a day. Pick one, even if it's the same one over and over again, or it's trying something new, or it's the 478. I love variety because I do get bored kind of easily, and just because it keeps it fun. This can be fun. So what can I do right now? I can just close my eyes and breathe. I can do some ujjayi breathing, not too much, but while I'm driving, I can do some just this when I'm in a meeting or something. So I can tell people I gotta catch a calm. Give me 5 breaths.
I love that. Is that yours or did that come
I
from
just
HeartMath?
made it up, channeled right to me
Woo! I
right
love
now.
it. I love it. Yeah, I'm sure you'll do something with that.
Yeah.
In thinking about these domains that you were saying, like reenergizenow.com or femininepowercars.com, we all have domains. But I just want to share with everybody, I was so excited, because I have 2 podcasts and I have to say things out loud about how to find me or go to something. I was so thrilled the other day because, I offer that initial 1 hour full consultation for only $97. And that's a lot to say. So now I say, go to beaclient.com.
Nice.
you know, so simple. If you want to talk to me, go to beaclient.com. No big long transformingrelationship.com. Beaclient.com. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, so I simplified. I took a breath and simplified the domain.
I love that. You know, Resources, we've got them for you. Please reach out to us, whether it's beaclient.com, reenergizenow.com. My main domain is transformtoday.com, and it covers everything. It's my main blog, mostly for marketing, but you can find me and my hypnosis and at transformyourbody.com. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of ways, but Transform Today, contact me there or here on the Transform Your Relationships Facebook page. We're here for you.
Yes, and just to stay in the family, my main domain is transformingrelationship.com. So if you're up for transformation and you want to be the butterfly that can't get back into the cocoon, we're your girls. So stick with us.
Hmm. Way to transform. Yes, with breath. That's what we did today. We totally do it and do it again and again and as many times like play the game, the breathing game, the catch a calm game.
I love that.
All right. I think we've hit a home run here. What do you think?
I think so too. And I'm excited about it, so I'm going to go back and breathe and calm down.
Okay. Me too. And that's what a therapist once said to me, Laura, what the difference between fear and excitement is? She said breathing. Fear is stopping breathing. Excitement, like you were saying, is re-energizing. We can use it.
Yeah, I don't agree with her, but okay.
Well, it
I
was
mean,
like the
in either
energy in the
case,
body, the energy in the body, wish would
right.
like
But both of them are just acceleration in the body and fear or excitement. And in either case, if you want to calm down, you got to do what we said today.
absolutely. Well, she was saying how to transform fear to excitement. Just take a breath and remember. Like I remember being afraid of traveling alone, and I started just
Mhm.
breathing more and getting excited about it. So I transformed my fear into excitement through the breath.
Oh, well,
Uh,
that's a good context. I'm glad you clarified that.
yeah, I think that's how it helped me, and that's what, you know,
I can
the
go
whole
with that
session
one.
where we're going. Okay, we'll leave it at that then. So go transform your fear to excitement. Go catch a calm. Share with us how it goes, and we'll be back with you in another couple weeks.
Yes, we will. And in the meantime, breathe well.